Good morning, children. So, we had studied the chapter Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom till the speech given by Nelson Mandela on the day when he took oath as the president of South Africa, first ever black president of South Africa, where the system of apartheid was prevailing, the system of racial segregation, where whites were considered as a superior race and the blacks were not even given proper human treatment. They were in that condition, and this was a great achievement for the blacks and for the entire world, that now no race is superior, no race is inferior, no group of human beings can say that they are superior to others just because of the color of their skin. The first black president, Nelson Mandela's speech, we had studied. Now we are going to first do the oral comprehension check. Again, I repeat, children, in all the videos of chapters, I have asked you to do the oral comprehension check questions. They are also included with the think about it. Okay? The questions given at the back. So you have to do this oral comprehension check as well. On page 3. First question is, where did the ceremonies take place? Can you name any public buildings in India that are made of sandstone? So where did the ceremonies take place? We can see the ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre formed by the Union Buildings in Pretoria. Can you name any such building in India? Red Fort of red sandstone. Can you say how 10th May is an autumn day in South Africa? It has been stated in this autumn day. 10th May dawned bright and clear. Right? And it's there on that third paragraph, on that lovely autumn day. So why is 10th May autumn? Because there in South Africa, is it situated somewhere in southern hemisphere, no? May is considered to be autumn season. That's why 10th May is autumn day in South Africa. Autumn means shedding the old yellow leaves and beginning of a new, something new. Now the trees will shed the old. In the same way, you can also have a symbolic meaning of this autumn day. Like, this was an autumn day because all the old customs, traditions, apartheid, system of racial segregation, all that ended today, and new system of government where the blacks are the leaders. The black president, Mr. Nelson Mandela, has taken over the seat. So it is therefore also an autumn day in South Africa. You can write both the reasons. At the beginning of his speech, Mandela mentions an extraordinary human disaster. What does he mean by this? Extraordinary human disaster. Very important question, the third one. It can be asked for 2 marks in the exam and has been asked several times. Extraordinary human disaster is that human beings themselves are not considering another group of human beings even as humans. The condition of blacks was worse than humans, worse than animals, I should say. So the treatment given to the blacks on their own land was really, that is why the system of racial segregation, apartheid, has been referred to as extraordinary human disaster. Something which God hasn't made, but human beings had created as a disaster by creating such a system and giving such a treatment to their fellow human beings just because of their color. That's why human disaster it has been termed as. What is the glorious human achievement? The glorious human achievement is, after decades of hardship faced by the blacks, today it is an achievement that the blacks, who were not even considered human beings, who were given very harsh treatment by the society, not allowed their basic rights also, they have achieved the post, the seat of the president of South Africa. the Nelson Mandela has become the first black president, and the system of this racial segregation is over. All are considered equal. For this reason, this particular thing, black becoming the president and the racial segregation system getting over, has been referred to as glorious human achievement. Okay, what does Mandela thank the international leaders for? He thanked the international leaders who have come as a guest to attend this glorious human achievement, this inauguration, this setting up of a new government, of a new system of governance, of democracy in South Africa. He thanks them for having come and pay respect to this newly born liberty, newborn democracy. He thanks all the international leaders for this. What ideals does he set out for the future of Africa? Ideals that from now onwards there'll be no discrimination. Look over here in his speech. We pledge. So we pledge to liberate all our people. So from now onwards, there'll be no discrimination on the basis of color, caste, rich or poor. Nobody will suffer in any way due to any reason. Nobody will be deprived of his basic human rights for any particular reason. There'll be no discrimination on any particular basis of gender, caste, color, rich, poor, inequality. Nothing. So this is what he talks about in the last answer. He has set out that South Africa will prosper. It will not only set up this democracy in the country, but do every bit so that no human being in this country, no person in this country is deprived of food, clothing, shelter, and the basic human rights he possesses. This is what he has set for the future. So shall we start with the next paragraph from now? A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes. So the inauguration is still going on. So after his speech, after his oath-taking ceremony, few moments later, we all, Nelson Mandela and the gathered guests, lifted their eyes in awe. So respect and fear, in awe, as a spectacular array of South African jets, complete line of South African jets, helicopters and troop carriers rode in perfect formation over the Union buildings. They flew high to pay respect to the newly formed government and democracy of South Africa. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force. So he says this was on 26th January and 15th August. We too have this, display of showers of flowers through the airplanes. So it was not only, he says, a display of pinpoint precision that military has this, or the military force of South Africa, but it was a demonstration of military's loyalty to democracy, to the new government that has been fairly and freely elected. He says this show was not only a show, but the sense of this show was the military force, the army, the navy and the air force. They are showing their respect, and their loyalty to the new government, to the newborn democracy in this country, to the new government which has been elected fairly by voting system and freely without any foundations of force upon anybody. Only moments before, the highest generals of South African Defence Force and Police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. So before this all started, the scene in the air, the spectacular scene in the air, before that, the highest generals of South African Defence Force, the highest generals of police, straight, chest bedecked is straight, bedecked, decorated with ribbons and medals from their achievements, due to their achievements from the days gone by, they saluted Nelson Mandela and pledged that they'll be loyal to him, as he is the governing authority now. He has brought up a new era in this country. Now he will be the president of this country. I was not unmindful. That means I was aware of the fact that not so many years before, today we've got freedom. Things have changed. But before some years, they would not have saluted but arrested me. Had there still been the system of racial segregation and the condition of the blacks the same, they would never have saluted me. They would have arrested me. Finally, a chevron of Impal jets left a smoke trail of black, red, green and blue and gold of the new South African flag. Let me show you the flag, children. So here is the flag of South Africa with black, red, green, blue and gold. Can you see that? I'll change the picture for you. This one you can see. Complete flag of South Africa. That's why all these colors, black, green, red, blue and gold colors. Okay? The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems. Not only one national anthem, the country had a national anthem earlier. They played that also and the old anthem as well. So the day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems and the vision of whites singing Nkosi Sikelel iAfrika and blacks singing Die Stem. The old national anthem as well as the new, the old anthem of the Republic. Although that day neither group knew the lyrics of the anthem they once despised, they did not have a very high opinion of it. They hated. But neither of the group, neither whites nor blacks, they knew the words, the lyrics of the anthem. They would soon know the words by heart. They would have to learn this anthem by heart very soon, and they would do so since this will be now the system of our country. On the day of inauguration, I was overwhelmed. When you're overflowed with emotions, you say overwhelmed. So I was really overflowed with emotions of happiness as well as greatness. So on the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed with a sense of history. In the first decade of the 20th century, a few years after the bitter Anglo-Boer War, so I remembered history, what had happened, and before my own birth. He's telling you something, children, how the system finally initially started. The first decade of 20th century. Okay? Few years later, after the bitter Anglo-Boer War and before my own birth, the white-skinned people of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned people of their own land. He has used peoples. This is Old English. At present, we don't use peoples. We say people itself is a plural. So, language has also undergone changes in these years. He says, when Anglo-Boer War took place, at that time, after that, before I was even born, the white-skinned people had some differences. They completely ended those differences among themselves and created the system that they were superior and the blacks were inferior. They started this system of racial domination. We'll dominate. Dominating means the one who considers himself superior and only gives orders. Dominate. So a system of racial domination against the dark-skinned people of their own land. They were of the same land. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest, most inhumane societies the world has ever known. So the kind of society they created was the basis of the harshest treatment given to, harshest society, most inhumane kind of people and society world has ever known. What South African people and the land of South Africa has witnessed. Very harsh treatment given to the blacks. They were even worse than your servants you treat, worse than the animals you treat. Okay, most inhumane treatment, immoral treatment given to them. Now, in the last decade of the 20th century, last decade was 1990. Okay, 19 something you can say. And my own eighth decade as a man, his own eighth decade as a man, 80 years. That system had been overturned forever. The system has not only ended but overturned. Today, the blacks will be ruling. Overturning is that completely the scenario has changed. Overturned forever and replaced by one that recognizes the rights and freedoms of all people regardless of the color of their skin. Replaced by the one that treats everyone equal, rights and freedoms of all. Not only now blacks will rule and whites will not. Now it's equality prevailing all over, regardless of the color of their skin. That day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of my people. Indian people can understand this very well. You know why? Because the freedom we got, India's independence, was also brought by the unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of our people. Okay, the freedom fighters whom we call. So this day has come about through unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of my people, whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. Can you pay back what they have done for the country? Never ever. Whose suffering, the suffering they had undergone, like Bhagat Singh and Gurudev for our country, no? In the same way, South Africa has its own story. The sufferings and courage shown by great leaders of that time, you cannot count it. It can never be calculated or repaid. I felt that day, as I have on so many other days. I felt something that day, and I felt that for so many other days also, on so many other days, that I was simply, children, you have to keep this statement in mind, very important line that I'm reading. I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. Sum of all the way free, that means I am the result of. Sum means total. So you calculate 2 plus 3 and the sum comes out to be 5. So I am the sum of, I am the result of their sufferings, their courage, and what they did for the country to bring about democracy in this country, equality in the country, and change the condition, completely end the system of racial segregation, apartheid. So I felt that day I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. I was the result of all that. Finally, I got a chance to see this day. They have sacrificed their life also for this day only. That long and noble line ended and now began again with me. So the noble people who sacrificed their life and their body, themselves, sacrificed themselves, their happiness, their families, everything that they had for this day have gone. So that line ended and that line began with me today. That long and noble line ended and now line again begins with me. I was pained. I felt hurt that I was not able to thank them. They are no more there to receive that thank. So I was pained that I was not able to thank them and that they were not able to see what their sacrifices have wrought, have brought. Old-fashioned formal word, achieved. So I was not able to thank them. They were not able to see what their sacrifices have brought. Sacrifice truly. So their sacrifices have truly been rewarded by God, by the society. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. This policy has created a very deep and lasting wound, ghav. right? Wound, you understand. In my country and my people. People have tolerated so much, faced so much. So he says, has left that those moments, those emotions. So they have faced so much and it has left that wound in their hearts. All of us will spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt. We have faced it for 300 years. It will take another 300 years at least to forget what the blacks had faced, to completely forget and forgive. But the decades of oppression and brutality, brutal treatment means a treatment worse than you treat a wild animal, right? Brutal treatment given to the blacks. So the decades of oppression, oppressing another, unintended effect. Decades of oppression and brutality had another unintended effect. Something you do, effect is there. Effect of that is people are being afraid of raising their voice. But another impact is you start raising your voice. You are not able to tolerate that treatment. So that is the unintentional impact of oppression. Unintended effect, that was, it produced, the kind of society produced such kind of people. Because we were into this situation, that's why we got so many great leaders who are icon of courage. Unintended effect, that was, this hurt, this pain produced Oliver Tambos, Walter Sisselus, Chief Luthulus, Yusuf Dadus, Bram Fishers and Robert Subukus of our time. Why does he say our time? When I was being one of these. These are the prominent names in the struggle against apartheid. Okay, so why have we used the? Because we use the before proper nouns to say that they are only one ever born in decades. Only one. Okay, so he has put the with the names, with the proper nouns. Otherwise we never put the with the proper noun. So they are only one of their kind. Nobody can ever be born the way they did something for their country. Men of such extraordinary, look at the pictures you can. Men of such extraordinary courage and wisdom and generosity. Generosity that their like may never be known again. Any person belonging to this category of people, you can say, that means people like them will never be born, never be known again to the world. Perhaps he says something very important. Children, lines of one, every particular line of this chapter is giving us a valuable message, a valuable lesson. How should we be? What is the difference between good and bad and wrong and right, and how much honesty, courage, determination is required to achieve anything that you have thought of. It is really not only the autobiography of Nelson Mandela, but also the important lesson of life every sentence teaches us. So let's read it. Perhaps it requires such depths of oppression. You have to underline it when you are reading, children. It requires such depths of oppression to create such heights of character. That means the man who has faced this much of oppression becomes a man who can be great in character. Not only honest, dedicated, determined, sacrificing. He can tolerate any kind of hardship but doesn't give up. So this much of oppression, when you face such hardships, you become strong man, no? When you face hard times of your life, you become strong individuals. When you, so if you remember the poem, Hardships, the one, wind poem, the one who has faced hardships becomes the friend of wind and rises to be a strong man. he says that much levels of oppressions the person who has faced becomes a person of great and high character, whom you cannot buy with money. He is such a person. So this is the meaning. Requires such depths of oppression to create such heights of character, such great character, those who are possessing such a great character, such people. Okay. My country is rich in the minerals and gems. So we'll read this much from my country in the next video.